1.
Good evening. This is Monday, January 9th, 2023 at 6:30 p.m. We're at the Town Hall, 160 Patriots Road, Templeton, Mass. Conference Room. First thing we're going to do is a review of the minutes from last meeting of 12/19/22 at 6:31. Has everybody read the meetings? Minutes, I mean, I'm sorry. From last meeting.
They're identical to what you sent out in
Yes.
the email?
Yep.
Yeah.
All right, I'll make a motion to accept the minutes of last meeting.
I'll second the motion.
And I will also approve them. And Dave,
Aye.
Amanda,
Yes,
and myself, I. Meetings will be accepted as written. It is now 6:33 p.m. And maybe that's the first,
thank you.
but the first one to get rid of. Okay. That's everybody ready?
Yep.
At 6:34 p.m. This is number 2 with the IDA Kyle Drive, lot 11, for the construction of a 4-bedroom single-family home. Will the people please step up?
And to open, I will read the legal notice while you guys come forward. Templeton Conservation Commission, Kyle Drive, Lot 11, request for determination of applicability. Notice is hereby given in accordance with the Massachusetts General Laws, Chapter 131, Section 40, the Wetlands Protection Act, that a public hearing will be held on a request for determination of applicability filed by New England Environmental Design, LLC, on behalf of Drury Ln. Project location is Kyle Drive, Lot 11, map 0-08, parcel 24.1. Description of project is the construction of a 4-bedroom, single-family home. The hearing will be held on January 9th, 2023 at 6:30 p.m. at Templeton Town Hall. Any person wishing to be heard concerning the above application should appear at the time and place indicated above. The request for determination of applicability is available for public review at the Development Services Office, Room 3, 160 Patriots Road during regular office hours. The RDA is also available upon request from J. Case at templetonma.gov. George Andrews, Chair. And we have Mr. Alan Druin and Mr. Julian Vitruba present to represent the project.
I guess I'll just say it. We have a copy of, you've seen the things. What we did already was we cut some trees down. We stayed 100 feet away from the wetlands. You can see the wetlands it's actually on the boundary.
Yep.
It comes out on the boundary and goes to the other.
I mean,
property.
Dave, when we looked at
Yeah,
it.
you guys looked at it. So we brought in front of the house. In the back, so we're probably, I'm gonna guess 80 feet to the 100-foot buffer where we brought materials in, just to let you know what we did. Because I know you went there, you must have seen them brought some film. Maybe you didn't. Anyway, so we're well away from the 100-foot buffer right there, and well, the house is gonna be well away from the 100-foot buffer, obviously. Most of the septic system is. We go within the 100 feet, you can see how much. 20 feet, 15 feet within the 100-foot buffer. And we're just clearing what we have to clear to get accepted. And that's kind of about it for that project. And you can see the sill fence that we have proposed.
It wasn't up when we were there.
No, not when you were there. It is mostly up now.
Okay.
They're getting rid of those logs. The logs, there was a big, you can see the water line. It says W
Yep.
all the way down on the right-hand side. That goes for the town water.
Yep.
Main water line. It goes to, what's the name of that?
April
What?
Circle.
Yeah, April Circle.
Yep.
And there's because of that, there's like 30 or 40 feet that's cut and clean.
Yep.
When we cut the log, we put them in that area right there.
Yeah, I saw they put a lot of fill over it. So.
Yeah.
Up
To it so we can get to it, right?
Yeah.
And so just otherwise I'd be able to put the septic system over, even all the way over to the boundary, but I can't put it on top of a water line. So that's why I have to go a little bit to the left of that property boundary there. which gets it within that 100 feet. So besides that, I'm gonna put when those logs are out of there, which is hopefully gonna be very soon, because they started doing it, pulling it out. I'll finish the wattle and the silt fence. I got it on the left-hand side right now. I have some coming up a little ways until I come into the logs.
Okay,
And then I stopped it, so I'll be able to finish that, I'm hoping this week. They'll get it out of there, I hope within a couple of days. And that's kind of about it. I don't know what else you'd like to.
all right, so did you sign off a thing for the town for the right of way?
I have not yet, I told him I wanted to get the, I told him I'd give him that, I'd give him easement on it. For
Okay,
the town, I
Right.
just want to get my foundation in.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to miss it by an inch. You know what I'm saying? So we'll get the foundation in. I'm gonna have the engineer stake where the house is gonna go. So we
Okay.
get it right, and then they can do the easement. So.
Okay.
I said, yeah, I told the town, it was no problem.
Did you fill out a building application yet, or are you
Yes, I
waiting?
did.
Okay.
Filled one out, so I'm kind of.
And so you're waiting on that?
okay. Any questions from any of the members of the board? Amanda? No?
Oh, no questions.
David?
So let's decide where all that water is gonna be shooting down.
So Amanda, how much is in the
Is there
100-foot
any-
buffer? Just the back part of the
Septic
septic system?
system,
We have to slow
Just
something
the
down.
little back corner?
Going to the
Yeah.
woods.
but I
Yeah,
think they
did you
still
put
need
any
an
riprap,
NOI.
or you don't put any
in the
riprap down
buffer.
over by the
It can,
Wetland
it
area
could be
to
negative.
keep the water to go into
um,
the, coming down the hill?
that we
Yes,
did.
yes, there is, right, going right down.
Yeah.
the hill Right there, yes.
Okay,
Okay.
that's what he asked, so. All right,
So
and,
options, you know,
oh,
if you feel
yes,
it's
we need to,
detrimental, you know, there obviously could be a positive determination. If you feel it's negative, there is an option that says work described
Yep.
is in the buffer zone, but will not alter.
right, what we're
And
doing, well,
You could provide a condition
somebody want to give a negative determination,
pending,
negative determination for an IDA.
pending that the layout is followed or something.
Or do you want to have the NOI? It's, you know, one of the decisions we have to make.
So. How many square feet? What is the reserve area? Can you explain the reserve area to me?
In case the septic system fails, that's
So
the
it's like a
reserve,
backup.
hopefully never
Okay.
get used. You know, the Same size as the other septic, I imagine.
So was there a purpose, either of you, for the septic going in the back and not the front?
You can't put it in the front because of all the depth of fill.
Okay.
That doesn't follow Title 5 code, because actually it was my first thought.
Okay.
Then I asked, he said, no, you can't do that.
Because that's our first thought when we look at things like that, to try to keep it further away, but if there was a purpose.
And actually, you'd be surprised, if you look at the house, how far back it is. That road is 50 feet from my front boundary.
Mhm.
That's why the house is back as far as it is.
Right.
It's just making it by about 5 feet.
Mhm.
Even though
Yeah.
it's 80 feet back, because the road is actually 50 feet.
Yeah.
From my boundary. Just
And-
it's a unique.
And then you
situation.
met all side and front setbacks too,
You know, setbacks.
per building, yep.
Okay. You want to do a determination? Trying to get somebody to give it, okay, negative determination.
Do you think it deserves a negative determination, even though he's putting impervious surface in the buffer zone?
That's why we're here.
Right.
You know,
What's your concern? Because he does have his engineer here, you can ask him.
and
The
the
fact that the
That's true, you know.
septic system is within the buffer zone of the wetlands.
Yeah.
That's not actually impervious, that's stone and pipe, so it's not asphalt or a roof. It's just grass. The building's not in the buffer zone, just the,
The top portion is grass, but the septic system itself is,
stone and pipe that drains. So it's not impervious, it's just a septic, and like Al was saying, we would have tried to keep it out of there, but Title 5 concerns. Wouldn't let us put it in the front yard or too much fill on top of it. Big Flip. So but it's not impervious. It is pervious, but it is a septic system. And it's actually about the leach field itself, is like 90 feet. We couldn't, because of the water line, I couldn't throw it to the right.
Yeah, I'm seeing now the tank is over here and that's the leach field.
We would have if we could have, but we just couldn't.
Mhm. Could you like rotate it
Now
so
what
it's out
happens
of the,
then, now you're fighting the slope, and the bottom part, the breakout would be within 50 feet of the wetland.
Mhm.
So we really took care to try to keep it as far away as we possibly could, and meet all the rules.
But it does meet Title V setbacks comfortably.
And the water line is what messed it up. If that water line wasn't there, it would have gone way over to the right. Fortunately.
Yeah, we wouldn't have to come in at all, because we'd be able to keep everything 100 feet away. We wouldn't have to even cut it.
And on the other behalf, the work he's gonna do with the drain pipe
Mhm.
is gonna be a complete upgrade of what's happening out there now, right now.
We just ran it out. It didn't-
It's just meandering all over and washing out. So this will be rip wrapped and clean and controlled. So it's a positive.
Is there any concern with the nutrients getting into the wetland from the leach field?
No, because Title V allows you to get as close as 50 feet and we're like 90, so.
What's the vegetation there now? Or what's the vegetation going
Pine
to be?
trees and that was the biggest thing.
Are you grading?
There's a little bit of
A little bit
grading.
of grading?
Yeah,
so-
there is some grading
You're putting grass back?
and loam and seed back.
Okay. I mean, those are the typical things that you would
Right.
see in the order of conditions anyways, so. I'll make a motion to have a negative determination for the RDA.
With
With
any
the-
conditions?
Yeah, with the condition that, you seed the area afterwards, just to make sure it's there in legal
Which is
writing.
also Title V code, we always
Yeah.
harass the civics.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
I'll second the motion.
And I will also agree with it. So David,
Aye.
Aye.
aye, so. And IDA will be issued.
So you got a negative determination, which is what you want, pending that you seed the area and you follow the plan submitted.
Now, for the most part, just the FY, just letting you know, we're still gonna be out of that 100-foot buffer for quite a while because of the time of year.
Right.
We'll probably do the septic in the spring, more like April to, we'll see how the weather goes. It's really weather permitting. So we won't be doing nothing much down there until then. Then we'll disturb it. We'll do it all within about a week or so. Just get down there, do it within about a week or so, and then it'll be done. So it won't be disturbed
And
for
so
a very
we-
long period of time.
just remember to let us know before you start and have your,
Okay,
all your
now, yeah.
stuff in there.
As far as within 100 feet, because I don't know when I'm gonna actually start a foundation, which I'll be outside that 100-foot. You
Mhm.
care about that?
No.
Honestly, okay, just so when we get closer, when we get within that 100-foot, and we start working basically the septic system,
Right.
Yes,
then we'll let you know.
correct.
Yep.
All
Yep.
right, thank you very much.
Thank you.
And
Thank
if
you,
you,
Alan.
if you have the option to do like a pollinator seed mix, that's always preferred to
Oh, is
just
it?
straight grass, yeah.
What's pollinators?
Natural wildflowers from this area.
Really? I never heard that. Things you gotta learn. Thank you.
Okay,
A
Tom.
lot of years to learn all of
I
that.
guess. So instead of doing grass, they do like a natural wildlife. You don't mow it.
Why? Wow.
Yeah.
Not adding creatures.
That's not a bad idea. I know my kids would like it, so they don't want that.
The whole bank.
You want me to date it?
Yeah, you can date it. Yep, and pass it to
I
you.
usually like to
Yep.
do that.
This is the
Bad
next one.
habit. 107.3. We get sign that. Yeah, we gotta give this back to you.
Yep.
And hers once she's ready.
Yep.
All right, and
You
back
got the
to
year
that.
right. Good job.
You got the year right.
Hey,
Thank you.
I do a few things right, I
Yeah.
want stuff.
And then those two right there. Yep, you got it. Yep. Yep. Beautiful.
Okay, so we'll close that at 6:47 p.m. Okay. Now we'll go on to number 3, which will be 66 Baptist Common Road for resource area boundaries and construction of a single family home. Enforcement order update. Oh, no, that's number 4.
Yep.
Okay.
And I will read the legal notice
Yes.
to open the topic. 66 Baptist Common Road, request for determination of applicability. Notice is hereby given in accordance with the Massachusetts General Laws, Chapter 131, Section 40 of the Wetlands Protection Act, that a public hearing will be held on a request for determination of applicability filed by New England Environmental Design LLC on behalf of Corey P. Fisher and Heather R. Fisher. Project location is 66 Baptist Common Road, map 4-07, parcel 90.44. Project will be the construction of a single-family home. The hearing will be held on January 9th, 2023 at 6:30 p.m. at the Templeton Town Hall. Any person wishing to be heard concerning the above application should appear at the time and place indicated above. The request for determination of applicability is available for public review at the Development Services Office, Room 3, 160 Patriots Road during regular office hours. The RDA is also available upon request from J Case at templetonma.gov, George Andrews, Chair. And we have Mr. Vitruba again, and we have Mr. Corey Fisher representing this item.
Okay. I see the people are already at the table. Go introduce yourselves and
I'm Julian from New England Environmental Design, and this is Corey, the owner. And what we're before the board for is to ask, we had done a site walk showing the wetlands that are depicted on this plan. And we're asking for the board to, I would guess, give us a positive determination that says, yeah, we see you have wetlands, and if you want to do something here, you have to come to us at the notice of intent. But I wanted to at least get the line defined so that when we go to do soil tests for the septic, we're all on the same page. So that's what we're asking. So from that site walk, I believe we were in agreements with what was shown on the plan. And that will allow me to go to the next step.
okay,
Who went on a site walk?
me and Dave.
You and Dave. Okay.
The thing is, we would also discuss which way you're gonna put the house in. This way.
It's gonna be long, yeah, it's
Gonna
gonna
be a long
go
way going.
a
in.
long skinny. We're gonna try to keep as far away from the wetlands as we can.
Yeah.
But I've got an area right up in the front corner. That's where the soil test will be done for the septic. So the septic will be, little bit will be outside the 100-foot, but some of it'll be probably 80 feet. But Title V allows you to be 50 feet, so we're gonna tuck it way up and keep the house way over to the left. That's the intent. But we just want to make sure that we're all on the same page before we start. Well, Corey starts spending more money on having things defined, because I could have done a lot of work and then have you guys come out and go, well, we didn't see it, and we don't think it's.
Is this based on the GIS or?
No, this
you-
is actual.
went out,
This is
okay.
actual flagged and surveyed.
Okay.
So this is real. And what's actually giving this water is a culvert pipe,
Yeah,
kind of a new one.
Yeah.
And it's catching whatever's across the street. And there's a couple new houses up here.
Mhm.
And it finds its way and ends up in the bigger wetland way in the back.
Mhm.
It's a wetland, but it's
the
a,
area.
Yeah, 2 houses across the street here, was Van Dyke to a couple of years.
Yeah, with the, yep,
And they're the ones that put the pipe across the road. It was already there, but they had.
they
no
tied
line
into
to
it,
get out.
right?
oh, that's what we're asking for. So we can go to the next step and then we'll be back before the board again with the details that you were just asking through a notice of intent.
Okay,
If I can add to that, Mr. Fisher did go in front of the ZBA and he did get, he got the
yeah, he did get that,
frontage variance, right? So if you notice that on the plans, that is approved.
Yeah, he showed it to us and.
Perfect.
He explained to us that he already had that done.
Wonderful.
So,
Cool, so I'll make a motion for a positive determination on this RDA.
David?
I second it.
And I will also agree with it. So, Amanda
Vote
Yes.
and Dave seconded it.
Aye.
I agreed with it. So we are all, still accepted for D and IDA.
Thank you.
And the same thing, you know, you have to let us know what. Get the buffers stuff up before we inspect it. We can start construction. Okay. And now that is at 6:53 PM.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you. Have a good evening.
You close the meeting?
Hmm?
You close that one?
He did.
You close that one?
Oh, not yet. Oh, yeah, I closed it at 6. No, I closed it at
6:50
6:52. Yeah. I said, I did say that.
Okay. It was quiet.
Thank you.
Okay. 6:52, okay, that's done, that's done, that's done. Okay. Everybody else set?
I'm ready.
Okay, it's now 6:53. And going to number 4, which is the enforcement orders update, state road map, parcel 1-3.1, 31-1.
I have an update.
You have an update?
Yes, so I provided the information to Mass DEP on 12/20, which was the day after our last meeting, and asking for support. The Mass DEP Central Regional Office responded that conservation should take a supportive backseat on this. Although the wetlands are of concern here, the Board of Health and Police should take the lead on enforcement, as there are bigger health and safety concerns here. I spoke to Miss Jody Parker of 726 State Road. She was the resident that was at the last meeting that requested an update, and I did reach out and provide her this update. The next steps will be for myself to follow up with the Board of Health and the police, and then provide any updates from that to you and to Mass DEP if they arise. This enforcement order will remain in effect, but will not be on next meeting's agenda unless new information becomes available.
And so as of right now, we're waiting for the Board of Health and the Police Department. Okay. Right. Anything else, Randy? You,
Not on that one.
on that one, you all set? Okay. That's just a discussion, okay. Now that will be at 6:55, closing that one. Now this one.
So the next is public comment. We have some residents that plan to come here to public comment regarding a proposed sewer tie-in. I've provided the commission with those plans, but you have them bigger, which is even better. And a colored copy printout of the Mass DEP map, which can be overlaid with what they just provided you. So if you could introduce yourself and kind of why you're here and what's going on, that would be great.
Yep, my name is Joshua Johnson. I'm with P.Grasewicz Engineering, representing Bill Matt Kevich on this project. He's planning to do a subdivision on Brooks Road called Brooks Farm, definitive subdivision. And to do that, we're proposing to put a sewer in and then run a cross-country low-pressure force main partially on our land, and then it will go over onto the town land, that DPW site where they have all their stockpiles and everything. And basically run down the southernmost property line there and tie into the existing sewer that's on the Baldwinville Road. And to do that, we would have to cross a couple wetlands. These plans show that we basically are trying to cross the wetlands in spots that will cause the least disturbance possible at the thinnest areas, while keeping the force main in a good spot on the town land down on the southern property line there. So yeah, the first crossing there will disturb about 1,000 square feet. And the second crossing is about 1,300 square feet of wetlands disturbance there. And the force main is going to be buried 4 feet in the ground the whole way. Yeah, I guess that's about all we've got for that. And we're really here to just to get your guys' feedback before we go and file an NOI for this project. And come back for a formal meeting.
I have a question. Do you intend to file an NOI for the sewer main crossing alone or for the subdivision as well? Or do you plan on doing them separately or together?
I'll have to talk to my boss to be sure, but I believe that we would be doing it all as one project.
So that means you're gonna go out there and mark every lot out there, and before you even do a subdivision, we gotta know where the house is gonna be going. And where the sewer from that particular house is gonna meet the line,
Don't cut down any trees.
and cutting down no trees. Because of the wetland area,
Yep.
because you have to stay 300 feet away from the buffer zone.
Okay. A lot of the lot
200 feet, whatever it is.
has been previously logged. You can see the tree line shown. It's actually pretty close to the wetland boundaries as it stands.
Okay, then you realize out there at the Baldwinville Road area, where you're planning on, you want to do that you have got a pond right there, you have to stay 300 feet away from it. And it looks as though you're right beside the town sheds, from what I can see. And that is right behind the house and right next door to the house where you guys want to come through.
Well,
And the 300 foot, and the pond is sitting right there.
hence why they're here,
Huh?
hence why they're here, because they will be near a lot of things.
Oh, yeah.
All the things
Oh,
you're
they
pointing out are
got- they
accurate.
need A lot of things. so
That's why they're here, because they're,
that's why it's
aware that.
informational thing. Yeah.
Would it make more sense to come out by the? I don't even know what all of these cars are, whatever that lot is,
That's a
the
junkyard,
junkyard.
yeah.
because I don't know if that hydrologic connection is like a real one
It's the pond.
right there. Yeah, I see the pond.
Okay.
So if they went over here, they'd
But,
avoid.
but that's the junkyard up there.
Yeah.
And to come out this far up is 123 feet down to the sewer and near the high school. I don't think they're gonna wanna go 123 feet down. Get to the foot. Sewer line,
Why is it so far down?
because it's all rock out there,
Wow.
and that's when it was put up. The there's 123 feet down where the high school hooks into the sewer system in the ground. Mhm. That's up on top of that little hill
Okay,
right there.
well, so this one they plan on hooking into, how far down is that one?
Well, the only other one, like I said, is way down here. That's what's got the red.
There's one here, there's one there, so there's
Right,
one here, there's one here,
but you gotta
and there's
figure,
one here.
yeah, okay, like I said, the thing's gonna have to work around because you got the cemetery right behind me.
Right,
Now, are you guys talking about coming in just further up this lot
yeah,
in front of the building still?
No, what we're proposing.
no, it's not, but to keep you away from the pond.
Okay,
Yeah.
we were trying to avoid that just because they use that area a lot, obviously for storage and.
And where is the roadway for the subdivision? Where is that coming in off of?
Brooks Road, you can see that this is just kind of the back
Where is
tail end of it.
Is
I know where he wanted to go, and I don't know if
is
there's.
it a subdivision that would have two exits, or is
Yes,
it like a,
loop around, yeah.
okay. Not like a cul-de-sac or a
Correct.
loop or okay. Is there any other information you can provide the commission regarding any other town departments that you've contacted? Maybe
Yeah,
sewer or
Yeah.
water and light or
I
anybody?
Just met with the sewer department.
Okay,
They're gonna draft a letter to the selectmen with their 100% approval of this.
Okay. okay. Doesn't affect them. They're okay with it. Okay. So sewer's okay.
So
Did you meet with the select board also?
Had an informal meeting with them, I believe it was the last meeting,
Okay,
and they said that they wanted other input from different boards in town, and that's why we're here.
very good.
How many houses are you? General ballpark,
Before single family.
24?
Yeah.
Is
All right.
that, you don't mind me, my asking, is that pond still a pond? Or is it completely grown in?
The one on Baldwinville Road?
You spoke about.
Yeah, the one with the stillest water is considered a pond. You have to stay 300 feet away from it.
Yeah,
That's all.
the one on Baldwinville Road?
Yep.
Yeah,
Mass DEP is still recognizing it as open water.
Yep.
So it's their
There-
duty
there
to
is water
continue
in
to
it.
protect it.
And it does rain across the road.
Yeah. So they're aware that our advice is to file an NOI.
Yep. Yeah.
Since
Oh,
this
have to
is
file
a,
an
you know,
Yeah.
public comment and a discussion to help them.
Right.
Is there advice or feedback for them regarding the plans that they've showed you that
And they just.
maybe you want them to include in on the NOI, or you think that to them would be helpful to their situation, or?
I mean, it's such a large project that
Yeah.
it might be smart for us to either get a peer review or an outside consultant to advise us, because there are just 3 of us now.
Yes. This will go in front of planning board as well, since it's a subdivision, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, so, planning board does do peer review. But we could get a peer review,
All you can do is go board to
Conservation
board and
world
see what
for-
they say.
you know,
Mhm.
NOIs are submitted to
Yeah, and you know. I have
to the
be
state,
submitted,
so
yeah.
they review them as well. Just
Right.
like recent ones that we've been through and got feedback from them, so that's helpful.
But there's, you know, like I said, the
Would your advice, Amanda, to be to tie and hire, or you view? Because that's really where you were going with that thought.
Well, yeah, just to stay away from the water connection. You want to limit the amount of wetlands and ponds and streams that you come close to, or come up with like a good reason why you couldn't as part of the NOI process. So if there's a reason that it absolutely needs to be there, please like include it.
Well, realistically, that
Yeah.
2-inch pipe, 4 feet in the ground. With the soil put back the way it was originally, will never hurt anybody unless they intentionally dig it up.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, we're not disturbing the wetland. Really. I mean, if legally, I think you could bore a hole. Right? Josh?
Legally, if you
Under
get our
the
permission,
wetland
you could do anything with the wetlands.
Yeah,
And not
it's
disturb
up
it.
to the, yeah.
oh yeah, you can move the wetlands so far, just so far. But,
This human altered area work. You know, like other subdivisions that were built and they relocated wetlands.
oh, yeah,
How does that
You
work?
have to replace the same amount that you disturb.
Mm.
Yep.
So if they move, or if they, you know.
Yeah, so anywhere they're
Alter a 200-foot
crossing-
area, they gotta replant a
Yeah,
200-foot, and that.
and
has
it
to be
doesn't,
included
I
in
think you
NOI.
can buy credits. I don't think you have to actually do it on site.
So you guys would be looking for replication for all the disturbed areas?
Yes. I looked recently at, was it Minuteman and Musket, and saw that they had human altered area where I don't know how many 100 square feet they did, but then they replicated it, and you can see it on the Mass DEP map.
Now, our site is so flat that our idea for stormwater right now would be to do stormwater wetlands. Would it
Cool.
possible to count that area towards the
If you
area that we're?
construct wetlands, yeah.
Yeah, that'd be how we would treat the stormwater from the subdivision.
There would need a stormwater report.
Yep.
Yep.
That's not my expertise.
Yeah.
File all of the NOI paperwork.
Yeah.
So we can look it over sooner rather than later.
Any other advice or points or,
No, like I said, just go from board to
Yeah.
board and see what happens.
yeah,
Thinking about it has to definitely be an NOI.
Yep.
And it may end up, I'm not sure, more than one. We'll have to see.
Yeah.
It depends on what the board say. Okay,
any other
any
questions
other questions?
for the board?
There is a stream that runs.
Feet that you mentioned. Is that set in stone?
It's 100 for wetlands and it's 200 for streams or ponds.
Yep, that's
200.
It's 200.
200 from stream,
Um,
yes.
And that's
like-
just when you have to come to us for approval. You can do stuff within it as long as we agree to it.
Or it is possible to put that line in.
Oh, I
It's
never said it
possible,
wasn't.
yes, yep,
Your approval.
And then.
Yep.
Then, of course, you're gonna have to put the house out there to pump it out this way.
Well, my feeling is that subdivision can be done 100 different ways.
Mhm.
I mean, we could have been
Mhm.
individual septics, we can put in a central septic, we can put in a treatment plant. They have all kinds of things on the books for treatment of sewage.
We also have an open space bylaw, which would allow you to put all of the housing units close together and then
Zone it.
conserve the rest.
Yep.
That might be an option too. Yeah, yeah. I think that's what they did with Cook Pond.
what, closer together?
Either one.
No? Okay. Maybe it's not what they did.
Maybe,
I thought it was.
maybe, like Lily Lane off Baldwinville Road, they're closer together but they're not subdivided into individual lots. It's more like a day mill.
Gotcha.
So,
Check out the bylaw.
Yes.
I thought-
See if it helps.
We'll just have more deer and stuff out there. That's all. What the heck?
My thought was just put the sewage in this way would be the most beneficial down the road.
Instead of having all the units have individual
own.
septic
Absolutely,
systems.
especially because there's so many wetlands on site that it's gonna be tight, so putting in individual septics, you'd be disturbing more in the buffer zone
Right.
of those wetlands. So this is really the least disturbance plan that we could come up with.
Okay. Questioned out.
That's great.
No worries.
Yeah. Well, hope this was helpful in some manner. I think their advice is
That's it,
to
right.
file an NOI and,
Yep. Yeah, there are many ways,
if you want to do it, like we said, as one or as two, I'm not sure what you want to do,
Yeah,
but
I'll talk to my boss and
Yeah.
I'll discuss with you too,
Yeah.
and see what the best method would be to go for.
very good.
Okay.
Very good.
Thank
You want to give that
Thank
back to
you.
him, George, the big one? Thank you.
Thank you very much, and we'll close the informational hearing at 7:10.
Thank you. Thank you all. So the next thing on the agenda is another public comment, but there is nobody here, so we don't have to attend to it.
Okay,
Okay.
comment for
Member or chair
will be
comments?
done. Okay.
Anything
Next
that
meeting.
you guys need to discuss with each other?
Oh, I've been talking to Joanne about the Otter River Pool. She's looking to get state funding to possibly remove the dam. We're gonna come up with a proposal and bring it to the board. Probably also bring it to the select board.
You talking to?
Joanne?
Oh, Joanne.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What is she-
Joanne Burden, because she was also talking about the one out on the Otter River Road.
Logan, we're still live.
Yes, I know.
Okay, good. Alright, good.
Still Quaddy Avenue, that place out there.
Yeah, yes,
Okay.
Who is Joanne?
They wanted,
Joanne
they
Burden?
do that one.
was on the Concom a while ago.
John Byrne.
Sounds familiar. I don't believe I've.
So there's that dam on Crotty Ave.
Yeah.
That is seriously deteriorating.
Is
and
that the
will
one that
take-
got brought up during the car works NOI? Is that the one that got brought up that LaGrave was like, oh, I clean it and.
No,
Oh, oh,
no,
oh.
that's a little culvert
Okay,
right next to
So it's
his-
further down from that?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah, if you drive, I don't know, probably half a mile further down, there's a dirt road that goes to a big pond that used to be a.
Yeah, we used to be the Lithuanian pool. By the Lithuanian club, and the Stones ended up owning it when they closed. And the Stones sent it over to the Concom,
Yeah, so now Concom's in charge of it,
and
wow.
along with like 120 other acres in town.
and the thing is,
Wow.
when somebody says, well, that's deeded to Concom, well, that ain't it. Concom's only part of the town. It was deeded to the town with Concom being put in charge of it.
Hmm.
And then that was taken away because they were destroying it out there. And Highway put a blockage out there for the original things across the pipes. That was you go in, and the highway department was the one that was taking apart the dam
Oh,
at the time that it got that started, because it was so bad, it was deteriorating so
Hmm.
bad, someone was going to eventually get rid of,
Right.
and that's how it got left.
well, that
And
sounds good.
when you're talking to Joni Parker is the one who was,
She was a resident that came to the last meeting.
right.
Yeah.
And she was the one that was basically looking after the pond out there on the Friday Avenue. And after Highway went in, I don't know what happened.
Well, so it looks like people have a lot of good memories out there.
Yeah.
And it might be good to put some picnic tables out there eventually, but right now it's just a safety concern. The dam
Right, and
needs to go.
that's why they put the thing up there.
Right.
What's the intention? What's the like goal?
The
they want?
end goal is probably passive recreation, picnics and
Nice.
fishing.
Nice.
Um,
Might be a good application to CPC to get some funding if needed, right? Open space
yes,
recreation.
because taking the dam
right?
down is gonna cost a
Yeah.
lot of money.
Yeah.
We need a feasibility study done.
Yep.
Before we can get state funds.
Yep.
So
And
CPC.
Joanne's been was doing. They were going to the back side of the pond. There's a kind of trout area.
Mhm.
And a particular fish, that's the only area that's left in this area for that particular fish.
Mm.
That's why they were trying to get the dam put back up, or part of the dam put back up. But they
Is this
ran
on
out of
Otter
money.
River or is this on Karate?
On Crotty Ave,
Is
it's
there-
called the Otter River.
Is there
Pool.
access to it from Karate? Is it like on the road or like, do you have,
Right on
is there like a right of way to get to
Left
it?
hand side on the road, as
Okay,
you go past
You could see it from the road.
from
perfect.
the road.
Yeah.
They had
We'll
tennis,
take a
court-
loop.
there used to be, tennis courts in there and,
Wow.
yeah, and when
Sounds
let the
like a
winning.
great
club
idea.
went
Like a
on.
clubhouse and a snack bar
Yeah, same
and
stuff
like
there.
a diving platform.
Yep.
Wow.
And it was run, I don't know if you know, let's see. Elm Street, 2A, that big building right there. The big green building. That used to be the clubhouse.
Oh,
On Elm
really?
Street?
Yeah.
Really?
Right on the beginning of Elm Street.
Wow.
And Kuna, at one time, bought that house for the club, disbanded,
Wow.
and he had his own place in there, he had a little diner
Yep.
for a while, and then,
It's like that little blue building that's like at
Yeah.
the intersection that
Yeah.
he's talking about.
yeah, and they used to,
Wow.
and ended up with it as a 4 apartment building.
Yes, it
eventually.
did. Yeah. Well, very good, Amanda. That sounds
Hmm.
positive.
So
stuff.
coming up with a management plan for that is step one.
Yep.
And also applying for CPC funds.
Yeah, that's
Yep.
what we have. to do.
We also should come up with management plans for all of the Concom properties,
So,
which means we need help.
Yes, we definitely need help. I did get your request this week and reached out to DPW to try to get a list of town-owned properties.
that.
Oh, okay. Well, maybe we should hook up with that because I was trying to talk to the DPW director about like which properties he manages and like, is there a management plan? And I used the
Sure.
example of, I used the example of River's Edge. After we cut the ribbon, it's now DPW's responsibility, but
Right, so what's
like,
their
where did
plan?
we go in that process? You know what I mean? Like, we should have, you know, an active role in making sure that that's maintained and beautiful and
Yeah,
kept as good as it was the day it was open. And we've kind of taken a backseat to that. And, so yeah, Amanda, we should hook up and get those lists together because I'm curious which town-owned properties are also conservation restrictions on them too. Cause like,
Just sent you the file. Well, it's 63 megabytes, so I don't know if you'll be able to get it.
cause like the other one we talked about, that Dwelly Farm, remember?
it's
Dwelly Farm is,
open space.
but it's managed by
North County Land Trust.
North County Land Trust, but we're on the something, but the
Restriction.
point of that example is that like, they're doing the nitty gritty and the managing of it. You know, and versus like our DPW is doing like the nitty gritty and the managing of, let's say, River's Edge. Like where does our role, you know, fall into that? They're short staffed, you know, so they're doing the best they can. But yeah, we should talk about that. That's a great idea.
There you go.
Where our role is on our,
Also, the open space plan needs to be updated and resubmitted. It expires next year anyway, so
Okay.
it needs to be like redone.
okay,
And currently our,
Last time we did that, we used money from
CPC.
CPC,
Yeah.
okay.
so, yeah, we paid
Well,
a school to make it
Something
for
to
us.
talk about on Thursday night.
Are you going to the meeting?
Thursday?
I'll
CPC
either be
meeting?
on a meeting or on the camera.
Okay, good. I'll be there too, Amanda, so.
Cool. Yeah, because a lot of people on CPC were former members of the open space committee that currently doesn't.
Yeah.
Anybody.
So maybe
And it's just,
we should come back to the next meeting in February with an update for Amanda and Dave.
now that makes another decision.
Yeah,
Do I want to be reappointed to 31st of June?
yeah, the reorganizations of the boards.
That'll put an issue here.
Well,
But-
I think that if you want to continue to serve and Amanda and Dave support you, that's fine. If you want to take a break from doing CPC and Amanda or Dave want to do it, then that's great too.
We'll see what happens. It's, a lot has to do with the issue with my wife, so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You've been serving for a long time, George, and we all appreciate your time. So if people are offering to help,
I even served
him help.
when I worked 11 to 7.
yeah,
Used to go to the meeting here and go to work for 8 o'clock.
yeah,
And if there are meetings you can't make, I'm sure we could designate one of us as like an alternate representative or something.
Well, the problem is, we used to have 3 alternate members to the board, but they wouldn't let them vote.
yeah.
Right? And that's
The
why. 2 of
CPC
them-
works as is you three have to internally appoint and
Person.
agree. Yeah,
That's our.
because you three are voting members here, then you get the vote over there. You bring your subject matter expertise from here and you bring it over
Well,
there.
that's gonna be one of the issues if that one there comes into effect. With putting that sewer system and all
yeah.
that,
Hmm.
I may not be able to vote because of where I live.
I think that was the right
Just
way to
on
go
the
with
creek.
that.
Does that make an issue with quorum
Where?
Huh?
if you can't vote on that future NOI?
And that'll make a thing on here, yeah. Because if I can't vote,
It would
You know who
default
would
to
be
me.
wonderful as
It would
part
be-
of our commission?
Who?
Sean.
No. No, he couldn't do that. But it apparently, if we don't have a quorum, it would default to me to make a
Gotcha.
decision,
Okay,
which I don't want to do. So please stay.
Oh,
Okay,
I'm not going anywhere,
Alright,
but if
perfect.
George has a conflict of interest.
yes,
well, that's the only thing I'd be worried about, that one.
Right.
Just so you know. In the
I feel
future,
like
but-
at that point, as your agent, I would be able to take your opinions that are left combined with my own and make a educated and appropriate decision.
That is a big project, that I would feel more comfortable having a consultant be like.
I
"This is
wonder,
good
you know
enough."
how you mentioned peer review for
Mhm.
that? I mean, planning board does peer review. I wonder if,
We can,
I was just gonna say, like, if that's the, you know better than me, but if that's the appropriate word, but if
It
we
is.
could hire a consultant that is a subject matter expert in the environmental world, not how planning board hires them to look at.
Yeah.
But they still look at the stormwater and the parking and the traffic and they look at all that too, so.
they don't look at it through an ecological lens.
Right,
Yeah, if we have anyone we need help on, we can hire a consultant off the board, through the board, but we have the money there.
Right.
We have
the
money?
and then they have to reimburse
Yeah,
us.
yeah, but
there you go.
So
Because I have
ultimately,
money
they
for
pay it.
postage, so I'm not sure.
Any of those fees that you're
Yes.
collecting
Yeah, the
are
WPA
supposed to
fees.
go into a conservation fund.
Yes,
And that's what that conservation fund is designed for.
I'm gonna go check that balance.
and that's quite a big balance, because we haven't used it in years.
Right.
Because somebody that was working in the selectman's office wanted to take that money, and they found out from the
They
state,
can't.
you can't touch it.
Okay,
They can put money into it at town meeting if they wanted to.
that will
They
be
Can't touch it.
tomorrow's to find that account and that balance.
That's it.
Very good.
Yeah,
Anything
because
else, Steve?
Laurie should have that.
Because we
her-
can also use that money to put signs up at our conservation areas.
I think there
Might
is one at
want.
River's Edge, but
There is, yeah.
Yeah.
That's a giant one at River's Edge.
yeah. And then I think one is gonna say like open from
Dawn till dusk. or
dawn till
whatever.
dusk. I
Yeah.
had it back, yes.
Yeah, we should probably have some rules for our parks. Similar to that, but also like
Oh,
clean
yeah.
up after your pets and.
Yeah.
Have we
whatever
heard
the
when they're gonna
safeguards
start
are.
making those apartments down Ballville?
No. They have to go through funding.
They have to get approved for state funding,
Yeah,
right? Because they get approved for CPC.
And you also got, when are we gonna start the Rotary out here?
I haven't gotten any word. Yeah, yeah.
Supposed to be next year,
George, that's a memory right there you just brought up. Wow.
huh?
The Rotary, I haven't heard about that in like 2
You
years.
see the
I
list
know,
we've got.
but they
now.
were supposed to start in 23.
Yeah, and they sent like a butters notifications to everybody out there and then nothing.
Don't wanna hear about it.
I,
Oh, you figure the parking lot for Reno's is gonna be half gone.
So I'll make a motion. to
wait,
adjourn.
oh no, please don't. No,
What do you need?
What
next
things you got?
is
Withdrawn.
next meeting. You want to just take one and hand it out? I took the liberty. First off, I appreciate you all moving the meetings to
6:30.
6:30 instead of 6 o'clock
Mhm.
for my
See,
personal
I
reasons.
was wondering why you did that to February, but then I realized.
I,
Martin,
so I printed out
Martin Luther
all
King
of
Day.
our meetings for the year. I hope that's helpful. If you can see that the 3 that are bolded.
Yeah.
That is because the third Monday of those months are holidays.
Yeah.
So I was able to schedule those for the second.
Okay.
There was one of them that I saw the selectmen were meeting the same night.
Okay, if any of you have like personal conflicts with these, reach out to me and then we'll try to, I know, but I'm just trying to be helpful and give it
It's just, that's why I asked you if you do this. That's,
perfect.
do
Okay,
that.
now I will. Now, do I hear a motion to adjourn?
I'll make a motion to
I'll
adjourn.
second.
Right.
All in favor?
Yes.
Aye.
Very good.
We are closed.